All right, so we've got a problem here. Let's give it a try. We're going to want to make sure and follow our 4 steps as we do this to solve the problem. So just reading the problem real quick together. A balloon is underwater where the pressure is 37 psi, right? That's a pressure. I like to label those as I'm going through the problem if I can. If the balloon is brought to the surface where the pressure is 14.7 psi, so now we've got a change in our pressure. If at the surface the balloon takes up 2.3 liters of space, how large was it underwater? So now here we've got a volume, and we're asking about how large another volume. So we've got some pressures and some volumes changing. And we've got some more grammatical stuff that's not great there, but I'm not an English teacher. So as we're looking at it, one of the first things to do if we don't know what equation to use is to make a list. If we recognize our equation right away, we can do that, but maybe we don't here. So as we're going through, we've got 2 situations. We've got underwater and we've got at the surface. So let's make our list. We're going to go, our pressure 1 I'll use as underwater. So our pressure 1 is 37 psi. And then the volume that goes with that is the volume underwater. So that's what we're actually asking about here is the volume underwater. So that's the thing we don't know. Then we've got pressure 2, and that's 14.7 psi. And our volume 2, so those are the 2 at the surface. At the surface, the balloon is 2.3 liters, and the pressure is that. So those are the 2 that pair together. Doesn't really matter which ones are your ones and 2s, as long as you pair them correctly. Right, so we see now we've got pressures changing, we've got volumes changing. So what law is that? That's Boyle's law. Boyle's law is an inverse relationship. As my pressure goes up, my volume goes down. So that's P1 V1 equals P2 V2. So I'm going to, step 1, right, is to make my list. Step 2 is to write my equation. Step 3 is to plug the numbers in here, or rearrange first and then plug the numbers in, however you like to do that. So we'll go 37 psi times V. The volume 1 that we're looking for equals 14.7 psi times 2.3 liters. So then to solve this one, right, we're multiplying these 2 and dividing by this 37, right? So then I'll divide both sides by 37 psi, divide by 37 psi. So we just multiply by the top and divide by the bottom. So when we do that, we're going to get 0.914 liters, right? Because my psi, my pressures cancel out. This cancels out here, so we're left with liters. So 0.914. Then it's always a good idea to go back and check, does that make some sense? So let's see, my pressure went down by quite a bit when we went to the surface. So that means my volume should have gone up by quite a bit. Well, so my volume must have started off smaller. So this does make sense for my volume underwater.